Hawaii News Now. Sunrise is your home for this year's race, so settle in for 3 hours of live coverage as we track the leaders, share some inspiring stories, and have a bit of fun along the way. Aloha, I'm Annalisa Burgos. So what exactly is in store for the runners this morning?
How did it get to this point? Because obviously the hospital said that it's going through good faith negotiations, but your side obviously says not.
No, we've had nurses at every negotiation standing with us, and what they see is, hey, the employers are not listening. They haven't been listening for 3 years. They're not listening at the bargaining table. Sure, there's a few little things they've given up, but you know what? Safe staffing is #1, and they know it because the past 3 years, staffing has not been good.
Now, we saw this 3 years ago where you averted a strike. You had tough negotiations as well. You did sign the agreement back then. What is different now?
The only thing different now is that, hey, the nurses, they said, move on. Let's take the vote. Let's take the strike. And they said, we want to strike now because they're not listening. They are still not listening to us.
Are you worried about how this affects your patients?
Of course. That is the hardest thing about this strike. Not only are they not getting paid, they are not in there with the patients that they dearly love. You can even ask the parents that of the patients up there that they're going to miss us.
So the hospital has said that they do have full staffing to, make up for the loss of about 600 nurses during this time period. What will it take for you to go back to work?
Well, what I can say now is it's kind of interesting that they now have fully staffed the hospital when for 3 years they did not. We ran short. Nurses were mandatory overtime, worked too hard. But they managed to fill the hospital up with nurses in 10 days. That's a problem. Why are they willing to do that now and they haven't done it for 3 years?
Now, the sticking point has been this ratio that we hear a lot about. According to the hospital, they say it's about delay in care, that if you have a firm ratio, nurse-patient ratio, it could delay care for patients. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think that's maybe why there's a misunderstanding, because it's about having enough nurses to take care of those patients that come in. We've always in the past planned for patients that would come in. Now it's no. Don't plan for the what ifs, plan for the now. And that's what the nurses don't like, because we are not prepared when their emergencies come in. So that is why they are all out here today and for the whole week.
And I'm sure you guys can hear there's cars passing by in support, honking in support. For those who, are just maybe a little bit more critical, saying that this is part of the economy. Everyone is suffering. Everyone is taking pay cuts. How would you respond to them?
Well, what I can say is right now and for the whole week, everybody who's standing out here is not going to get paid. Right? They're not going to pay it unless they're on leave. But they're willing to stay out here, and some of them are single family. They only have single parent families. They're out here, they have families, but they're willing to stand up and say, hey, listen to us. This is the only way we can get them to listen to us.
So they really are sacrificing their own livelihoods for 1 week, because it's supposed to go until next Sunday, until 8:30. So every day, 7 a.m. to 8:30, that's the commitment.
Yes.
The negotiation is supposed to start again on the 31st. Is there anything that the hospital can get you back onto the table, the negotiating table?
We have opened it up. We had offered. We said, hey, we can go back on the table. We could have went last week. We could go now during the strike. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are going to talk to the hospital in the next half hour, guys, just to get obviously their side and see what they feel about this big presence. Hey, Steph, as you can hear, everyone getting ready to greet Wallace and Futuna. They are about to head in. We are in the middle of the Parade of Nations. Now, FestPac just opened. We had a hula performance from Oahu and various islands, Maui, Hawaii, Halau performing. And now let's listen in. This is Wallace and Futuna, one of the island nations in the Pacific. So as customary in these opening ceremonies, each nation is announced in this Parade of Nations, and they perform, they showcase their culture, their delegation is showcased, kind of like the Olympics, if you want to think about it that way. And in this huge crowd, thousands are watching. The Stand Sheriff, as you've never seen it before, the largest gathering of indigenous Pacific cultures, 27 nations being represented. We just saw Guam a little bit earlier. And like I said, Wallis and Futuna, a lot of us may not have heard of that island or that nation, but this is the place where everyone is reconnecting and relearning about each other's heritage. Earlier, we spoke to one of the delegates from Niue who talked about the importance of FESPAC and why they are gathering together to handle some of the biggest challenges of these nations.
Our language is in fact endangered. There are only 1,700 Niuean people in Niue, but our country and governments have been very strong in trying to ensure that we don't lose that and we revive it. So we have total immersion from a young age in primary school in our local language to try and support that. But there's a lot that the rest of the world and technology can do to help us retain that. That's expensive, right? So we really do need the resources to support the retention and the passing of that knowledge and language.
And that really is the point of FESPAC. As you can see, plenty of chicken skin moments today. This is going to be going on all evening here at the Stand Sheriff Center. And tomorrow, you guys, Festival Village open at the Hawaii Convention Center. And then, of course, through the 16th, all kinds of events, all kinds of free programs to the public. Follow our website for more information. Reporting here at the Stand Sheriff Center, I'm Annalisa Burgos. Back to you guys.
Eddie, we are pouring some tea. We're hanging out with Jade Dynasty and Eddie Flores. How do we say cheers?
Ganbei.
Gabe.
Yamseng.
Okay, Yamseng. Okay, all kinds.
Banzai.
All right, Alan Ho, Timothy Ho, Eddie Flores, Chef Tang. What are we making now? It looks amazing. It smells amazing.
Ginger onion. The Chinese name called Long Ma Jing Shen. Explain it.
Right.
Long.
So this is lobster with ginger and onions, and the Chinese name for lobster is actually the dragon of shrimp. So that's why we're having it here for the Chinese New Year of the Dragon. And together, the dish's name roughly translates to the spirit of the dragon or having the energy of one.
Yeah.
My daughter's a dragon.
Oh, wow.
You guys got dragons in the family?
Oh, yeah,
my sister.
My daughter is a dragon too.
Wonderful.
A really a dragon lady.
I'm sorry if you're watching.
She's watching, you know.
Oh, okay.
Hi, sis.
I thought you said your wife or your daughter.
My wife. Okay, now
Okay,
we're putting up the lobster dishes finished.
Perfect. Every dish in your set menu at Jade Dynasty has meaning,
Yes.
auspicious meaning.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why is it so important to have all these wonderful symbolism in the food you eat?
Because in the Chinese New Year, everybody wants prosperity. So we put in Hong Kong or in China, they always have a good luck name for the dishes. And every dishes and all the items representing something. Like the lobster, dragon. Like the fried chicken, phoenix.
And we had the abalone earlier.
Abalone is a prosperity and the jewelry, shining jewelry.
I love it.
Rainbow color.
I love it. And it looks amazing. This is your favorite, right, Eddie?
Oh, gosh.
Every time we go to the banquet, you always
I
finish
always
this
get
first.
that. But I'm telling you, right after this, he can't sell that. I'm going to take it home. Is that okay?
Okay, for L&L, we do it for you.
And of course, you always have the tea, and you have some whiskey, and you have some amazing dishes
the
also.
tea you're drinking is pu'er. It's a 100 years old pu'er.
Wow,
Okay,
100
cheers.
years old. All right, and I'm going to dig into that later. You can't take it all, Eddie. You can't take it all. And we're going to hang out with them all morning. Don't go away. They have more fun for Lunar New Year. Kong Hee Fat Choi! Dr. Ueno and Gabriella from the UH Cancer Center, and we did the test, right? The skin check tests. And now we're going to do the big reveal about how damaged my skin is to the sun. All right, so tell us about this again. Remind us again.
So this tells you, how much melanin you have in your skin in an area that's not exposed and exposed.
Okay, so you did this and this.
Right, correct.
You can see the difference of the darkness. Okay.
Right.
So what did you find out?
So you are here, number 2.
Okay.
Right, and you're up to 4 actually.
What does that mean?
So it means that it went 2 grade up. So you need to work a little bit more.
Is that standard? Are you seeing that in your patients?
Yes, some people really go up, and some people it's only 1, or it may not change. And everybody's different, actually.
Okay.
And it really tells you that over many years that how you were exposing to yourself to the skin.
So 2 grades, should I be concerned about potential
I wouldn't
cancer?
say concerned, but you need to be aware and you need to be more mindful, and you want to use
Where's my
sunscreen.
map? There we go. All right, I'm going to start putting it on right now. All right, and Gabriella, you were doing this photography one, yeah?
Yes, so
What did we
photo
find?
aging. So this is what you'll look
Oh
like
my
at
gosh.
67, aging gracefully. This is what you will look like if you do not use your sunscreen
Oh no.
or go into shade or wear long sleeves.
I don't know if you guys can
or
zoom into
anything
that.
like that. So please do use your sun protection.
Yeah, you might want to, yeah, there we go. We're going to try to zoom in so you guys can see. Oh, that's just terrible, So what does that tell you, doctor, when you see results like this about...
Well, I mean, one is not just your appearance. Let's go back. This is about prevention of skin cancer, right? So,
Yes.
and ultimately, you don't want to get melanoma, because if you
Yes.
get melanoma, it's really difficult. You could treat it, but it's challenging, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is about.
Okay. All this to say, these tools are in a van.
Right.
Gabrielle's the girl in the van. And what do we expect? Where can people learn more about this, the resources?
Yeah, right. So you could go to our website, and then you could look for the next event, and sometimes in May or June that we'll have another event.